Yeah, and we will see if they are successful. We are going to be getting into draft for game very, very short. Just waiting on. For the conclusion of NLC, the last game, regardless of the outcome, both of these teams going to leave everything on. Get some appreciation, both Invul and Karolinerna, in the chat, please, both teams. One hell of a series, because so far this has been a pretty entertaining series.
Definitely so. We had a lot of team fighting. We had a lot of skirmishes. We had a pretty well executed game from Invul Lotus in game 1. We had a pretty well executed game from K5 in game 2. And whoever goes out as the winner, game 3, probably deserves the series and probably deserves to participate in the promotion tournament for Div 2.
Yeah, speaking of that promotion tournament, remember, guys, winner of this series, nay, the winner of this game, it is now a best of, and the winner is going.
Pretty much. In the end, Invul Lotus have the advantage of the counter picks. K5 have the advantage of the power picks and the momentum, and we're gonna see how that pays out. We have Invul Lotus confirming the ready check, and now it's down to K5 the ready as well and get the last draft going.
Everyone. I'm wondering, if someone is going to take that risk, have their cap smoke, go Dylan, pick me Vayne, or insert champion here. And if that is to happen, if that player will be able to take and win.
I mean, chances are there is a moment like that. I'm praying we don't get standard drafts all across the board. I'm just praying we don't get standard drafts, because that would literally be the most anticlimactic thing to happen. We're gonna have some standard bans in any case, because there are some power picks that just don't want their enemies to get their hands on.
And the Talia and the Belveth power picks have taken straight hold. Second ban from Karolinerna going to be Ari, moving away the mobility from competition in the mid lane. Seraphine quickly responded with, and Loftician's Akali is going to be final first phase ban coming through from Karolinerna.
Yeah, Seraphine ban means sad Enix noises.
I don't know.
I'm surprised about the Ari ban though, because Ari hasn't had any priority in this series so far. We have seen the Azir and the Akali from competition. We have seen Lissandra and Yone from the side of 5.
And Invul banning away their own Diana.
And the Diana ban is probably something that is also not entirely possible to pull off for Citron.
Draven insta-lock.
Want to give them the chance. Draven now. I was about to say Draven insta-lock for Lunar, but I already mixed up the sides. Daka now saying, yeah, we don't ban the Draven because we're gonna pick him ourselves. And it's gonna be met up with a misfortune, and I really like this misfortune.
Daka throwing down the gauntlet. Anything you can do, I can do better. Grabbing the Draven straight away for himself. Karolinerna answering back with a, and hopefully, from a Karolinerna point of view, they will be finding a Draven with much success and as large cash-ins in game. Silas picked up though in seconds.
I mean, the times where Silas has been a really great, blind pick are technically over, but almost rely on people picking some strong ults. Champions like Udyr, Zoe have ready ults, technical ults, have not been present in the meta, and champions like Yone and Mordekaiser, who can make a difference with their ultimates, are just going to be picked up once again. Invul Lotus are aware of that. They are aware of how Karolinerna are gonna be able to pull out these comfort picks, and it's happened again. Silas has the tools to match that, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Loftian is going to use these tools.
Yeah, definitely. Trundle and Yuumi, the two bans from Invul Lotus in the second phase. Armor is taken off the table, and the final ban side of Karolinerna, the final ban of NLC Division 3 for the summer is going to be Utter. Now, I quite like the Renata ban. I mean, I like the Karma ban as well for both of the Karolinerna bans. Both pair quite nicely with them. And will pair quite nicely with the rest of the draft. Nautilus going to be the choice, though, for Akun, and moving away from Enchanters. Have an
less. Yeah, it's always nice to have an engaged support on hand when you have a volatile team comp with a Silas, with an Olaf, with a Misfortune who just loves to have some lockdown to her disposal.
What was the answer? Raven Braum into Misfortune, our bot lane matchup. Diego going to be taken here most likely by Citron or the Hover to say, go on, we know you want it, take it. Oh, it is going to be locked. See the full draft on the side of Karolinerna. Very short range, I might add.
Definitely so. I think Braum has almost been autopilot since we have a Misfortune on the side of Invul Lotus, and Braum is very well known to be killjoy when it comes to bullet times. On the other hand, we have a Wukong, and that indicates that this Olaf is going to go onto the top side. Of course, can free himself from the Death Realm by using the Ragnarok, and can threaten the Mordekaiser quite well.
Well, Twitch chat, we are here. We have the finalized drafts. We have Game 3 in front of us. Let us know in chat who you think is going to take this one. Who is going to advance to the Division 2/3 promotion relegation tournament? Is it going to be the boys on the side of Invul Lotus, or are Karolinerna Black going to continue their miracle run and make it all? We are probably about half an hour away from finding the answer to that question, as we are now recreating the draft.
I really think that the counter picks from Invul Lotus' side have been really well invested, which is something that will hopefully help the game to get some action in, to deny the action of their opponents. We're gonna see how it plays out, and yeah, basically I just want to highlight that they have picked Yone and Mordekaiser really early, have left the counter picks to support in jungle once more. Did get the jungle counter pick because Invul Lotus have decided to pick their jungle last and to pick Kong, who has a decent matchup into Viego. So all the counter picks they got for the support counter pick, which hasn't been, which has been the best possible pick in my opinion, and the mid lane just has been the standard Yone pick for O2, which has also worked in the last game.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting stat for you. This is the 10th game of playoffs/relegation had on the channel. In the previous 9 games, what is the blue versus red side win-loss rate?
Probably 9-0.
I'm not expecting you to tell me to answer this question. I'm posing it to build up the stat. So you're saying 9-0?
I'm pretty sure it's 9-0.
It's 8-1 in favor of red side.
Let me guess, the other blue side win was when Invul Lotus won on the blue side.
Oh, the only blue side win was yesterday when Verdant took down Invul Lotus whilst playing on to advance to the relegation tour.
Oh, you're right.
Karolinerna are going to look to emulate that and take a 2-1 series victory here. What do we think? Do they have it in them to be able to pull it off? They have played through 4 series to get to this point, and they have overcome 3 of their 4 opponents. They are 1 game away from completing the miracle run through the lower bracket. Like you mentioned, a Fnatic fan's dream at the moment, looking at the current standings of the LEC. Invul Lotus, the potential gatekeepers standing in their way. Win and you are in. It never has been more true than in this game itself. We have a best of 1 to send the final team to the promotion tournament. And honestly, I couldn't call it. Based off the first 2 games we've seen tonight, I could not call it.
It's all going to be down to execution. Both team comps are really volatile. I would give a slight advantage to the top side of Invul Lotus because they have the Olaf, they have the Wukong, who are just early game terrors. And at the same time, they have a really strong team fight with Wukong, Misfortune, Nautilus, and possibly a few stolen ults by Silas. That's gonna be really difficult for the squishy members of K5 to stay alive, to stay healthy, to be able to fight these team fights, and especially Rotu could run into a lot more trouble than in the previous game.
Yep, definitely. It's gonna all come down to execution, who can perform in those pressure modes. And I mean, Invul Lotus backs against the wall a little bit. That was a pretty rough game too. So you'd imagine the momentum lies a little bit with Karolinerna. But as we know in League of Legends, the momentum can shift very, very quickly. We are just over 2 minutes away from getting into the final game of the NLC division split. I'm very, very ready. I'm very, very nervous for what may be about to unfold, but I'm sure whatever we are about to see, it is going to be an absolute banger. These teams have not stopped throwing punches at each other all evening, and I do not believe that they intend to start taking a back seat now. The early game of Game 2 was a little bit quieter than we potentially expected, but I think both teams are going to come out Game 3 all guns blazing, everything on the line, and both of them are going to be looking for the early leads to quick victory.
Definitely so. I do really like that some concepts have been mixed up. Ronaldo has ditched the Jax as he noticed that it's not going to work out in Mordekaiser once again. Has taken the Olaf this time, which is a better counter into the Mordekaiser. And they have also mixed up a lot of the rest of the map. Loftition is away from Troll Mage from Azir again, and back to a skirmisher, to an assassin, to an AP bruiser, and that is met up with a lot more volatility around himself.
I would also say that the champions kind of like Silas and Akali fit Loftition's style. I think he can have very good games on control mages. We've seen it before. His Azir is very, very solid. But I think he looks the most at home when he is fist fighting, brawling in all of the chaos, up close and personal on the champions like the Silas, like the Akali. So for me, on the side of Invul Lotus, the player I am going to be watching with a very keen eye to put the team on his back is Mr. Loftition in the mid lane. And it's going to be down to Rotu and Citron to shut this Silas down. But on the side of Karolinerna, the player that I am going to be focusing on for this deciding game of the series is Daka. Answering the challenge thrown down by Lunar in game 1. And after a really solid series, to be fair, Daka probably been the most consistent member on Karolinerna across the 2 games, in my opinion. Be interesting to see what he can get done on the Rift in this final game, as we are about to jump into things, guys. Into the loading screen for the 3rd and final game of this lower bracket final. Invulnerables Lotus versus Karolinerna Black. Here we go.
Want to know a fun fact?
Go for it.
Daka has 1.1 million mastery points on Draven.
Oh.
That is most certainly a comfort pick. And a really strong one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's scary. Has the Gladiator Draven skin to go with it as well. Really ready to set those axes ablaze and cool them off with blood of Lunar, the blood of his enemies. Lunar, by the way, taking the Comet Misfortune. Don't know if that's standard. I don't play AD carry. I also haven't seen that much Misfortune recently. That could just be my own ignorance. Maybe you can enlighten me.
I gotta be honest, this is a game where you do not want to be an AD carry, you do not want to be close up auto-attacking, because you're gonna be in the range of the Draven, who's gonna out-auto-attack you, because he has a strong auto-attack. You're gonna have the Yone who wants to be in your face, you're gonna have the Viego who's wanting to be in your face, and you have the Mordekaiser who can just take you off the map, take you to Brazil, and bonk you into horny jail. And it's just not going to be possible for any AD carry to have a proper game experience here. So I absolutely do not blame Lunar for opting into the lethality misfortune, for the common misfortune.
Oh, and Marcusa instantly going to be engaged on, stunned up by the Winter's Bite, and Lunar now taking the fire. Stun's going to land root on to the Braum. And a very early trade for the Karolinerna bot lane gets them a significant HP advantage and a potion for out of the misfortune. I think it's interesting to note in this game as well, Rotu actually opting for the Ignite rather than the Teleport.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna get an advantage in the other game, it's through the Ignite, through these early skirmishes. If Rotu plays it flawlessly, he's gonna take Loftician down in health with him. Loftician's early game is not the strongest, has to invest
Karolinerna looking to move in onto the Invul Lotus blue buff here. Slice is about to see them, and I don't know if he can even step up for this. Invul Lotus moving the bot lane across, but full information now on the Wukong's whereabouts. Daka and Magic Pants looking to move back in for this, but they are spotted on wards.
And Slice is gonna lose a lot of resources here.
We may see a very early 3v3 on the bot side of the map here. The ward is spotted out, but Citron not going to opt to try and clear it. Loftician moving over for extra cover. So nothing really gained or lost by either side.
I'm quite surprised that Rotu took an early escape. Left the lane alone, went into mid lane trying to build up some prio again. Loftician moving over. The lane was basically neutralized, would have slow pushed into the turret of Rotu. So there was not really any reason for Rotu to already return to mid lane. They have given up this potential play, they have given up the resources they can potentially take away from Slice. It is fine for K5, it is absolutely fine, because if they misstep, backfires way harder on them than it is on Invul Lotus. And they're taking the slow approach instead.
I feel like I have to mention this, by the way. Loftician, first strike Silas. Doesn't scream to be massively common to me.
I mean, he poses a big one-shot threat onto Daka, which is a good thing. Conqueror is, of course, still a good option if you want to have extended trades, if you want to have extended team fights, which the team comp of K5 doesn't necessarily scream to me
Well,
about.
Lunar's recall got cancelled and they stay. Citron in the area. Looking for a potential avenue here. Magic Pants going to step forward, but Daka taking a lot of damage on the Make It Rain.
Daka's way too low to...
Yeah, Daka's dangerously low here, though.
I mean, Lonar doesn't have the bullet time, is not going to threaten Daka anytime soon.
Ronaldo brawling with Stardust, the slice in the area, and the Wukong diving forward flash instantly burned from the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, lifesteal from Ronaldo coming in clutch. Has a lot of lifesteal over through his passive, and it's just something that Stardust misses out on. When Slice comes up in the top lane, the Olaf certainly doesn't die. Literally uses to, because he's too angry. And Stardust doesn't have these tools at his disposal. Of course, has the chance to get a big shield with the Indestructible, but in the end has to flash out before Slice can get a lot of burst damage down onto him.
On a very slow KG start this one off. I've just noticed as well, no teleport for Ronaldo on the side of Invul. Opting for the flash go. Dead.
Yeah, teleport is instead on Loftician, which gives Loftician a slight disadvantage in the early game. But Loftician, all he needs to keep himself safe. He has a lot of ults to his disposal for the later team fights, and will be useful in any case. Has the possibility to burst down Rotu and Daka in any team fight. It's all about the other lanes, about the bot lane, Lonar being kept safe, and Ronaldo just terrorizing the Mordekaiser at his will.
Definitely, again, it's going to be Karolinerna who grab the first dragon in this deciding game. Infernal Drake going to be secured by Citron. Yeah, Karolinerna extending their slight early advantage with Dragon Picker.
Now, I'm certainly not surprised that Lonar is down a little bit in CS compared to the Draven. I'm more surprised about Ronaldo not being able to build a CS advantage for himself. He is quite low in CS. That allows Stardust to keep up. Stardust, of course, having to give up some CS just because of the nature of the matchup. And Ronaldo just doesn't really utilize that.
No, not really realizing that. Lunar and Marcusa, though, able to be scaling up relatively safely. Does have the tier now for... But has to be careful. Magic Pants walking tags. Magic Pants tags Marcusa, and he M's in them with the Winter's Bite. But nothing to follow up that one. And again, relatively slow, relatively cagey. Neither team wanting to make the mistake to give the side a massive.
Magic Pants basically his job of keeping Raven safe. There is not really any action happening in the bot lane. In the mid lane, it's a little
bit of trading
more
from Rotu. The Tornado misses though, and Rotu takes a tower shot on the back end to pretty much even that trade out. Slice though, looking for an invade on the top side as the Fate Seal is stolen away by Loftician.
Oh, and this could backfire big time because they have 4 on the way top.
Yeah, double Yone ultimate available, but oh yeah, this could be very bad. Slice grabs the Gromp, going to be able to get himself away, and Invul Lotus could be relatively safe. So the Rift Herald, maybe not so safe, as 5 members actually, of Karolinerna are in the area. Lunar very late to the play, so Invul Lotus going to be forced to give this one over. Ronaldo stepping up a little bit dangerously there, but not going to be caught out by anything. Raven is continuing to stack, up above 150 stacks now, must be nearing 200 at this point. And we continue to scale with no kills.
Vision is key in these exchanges. It would have been possible that Slice and Ronaldo just overextend big time and get collapsed on by 4, but the deep vision that had been planted topside jungle of K5 has spotted out Magic Pants and Daka roaming to the top side, has spotted out Citron being around. I think if Ronaldo and Slice force a 2v2 onto Stardust and Citron, they come out on top, but if Daka and Magic Pants are also around, it's gonna backfire big time.
Yeah, so very intelligent. Very intelligent vision, yeah, to keep them alive and to dissuade the fight. But like you say, if they are able to find those 2v2s, then it could be very dangerous. Karolinerna on the side of things. Rotyu diving forward with the tornado, doesn't quite connect.
It's not necessarily a tornado, because Yone doesn't have wind, powers, whatever.
Alright, it's a knock-up.
Yeah, it's something, a dash with a knock-up that somehow makes sense, but also doesn't. But Riot Games, you know...
We don't question the almighty Overlord.
True.
Citron, though, wants Loftition, and Loftition dives forward on to Rotyu. The Fate Shield is available, but Loftition ticking from the Ignite, and he's going to fall to the Yone. Rotyu finds first blood with the help of his jungler in this final game, and the Rift Herald likely going to be dropped in the mid lane now as well.
Yeah, Loftition is really unlucky here. Citron is just out of range, and just out of vision range, and gets into the fight as soon as he has to, and manages to get something done.
Ronaldo, though. Ronaldo finding the solo kill on Starduster in the top lane.
Yeah, I don't know how Ronaldo did that. He just refused to take damage, refused to die. Starduster just played it wrong on every single end that he could play it wrong on, and pays for it with his life.
Yeah, so the gold lead opening up slightly now in the favor of Karolinerna following the first blood and the Herald in the mid lane with 3 plates falling. Second dragon is about to come up, and it is a Hextech Drain. Looking like K5 will be able to secure this with relative...
Yeah, all of the gold advantage is basically on mid and jungle if you cancel out top lane with bot lane, because it's a minimalistic advantage for Daka and for Ronaldo in their respective positions. Rotyu and Citron, both about 600 gold ahead of their respective counterparts, are currently really liking the situation and trying to make the best out of it, as disengage Rotyu onto Loftition fails to hit.
250 stacks ticked up by the Draven, and it's the same problem that K5 were facing in game 1 that is now Invul Lotus's qualm to deal with. What do you do about this Draven? He gets a single kill, and he is going to leapfrog everybody on the Rift.
The difference to game 1 is that there is a reliable way to keep this Draven down. Slice with the Wukong has really simple and effective tools to get on top of this Draven.
Might be about to see a dive hit onto Rotyu. Magic Pants and Citron, though, spying this one out and roaming up into the area. Slice going to claim his red buff as Starduster moves down towards the mid lane, but no fight going to come through.
Yeah, they are taking it slow. This is the best we can actually do.
But with all of these roams, Invul Lotus being able to close up the gold lead slightly, dropping now down to about 500, so halving the gold lead just from good vision and spotting out the potential plays from Karolinerna.
And the good vision just keeps existing, but they also have good vision on K5's side, and allows them to bluff here.
Slice could be in trouble. The Cyclone's going to get thrown down, and the Fate Shield comes through as well, but it's Rotyu who's going to get bounced around in the Bounce House into the palm of Loftition, and the Fate Shield on to the Viego. Loftition and Ronaldo both fighting 1v1s. Loftition going to win his one, but then gets taken to Brazil. Magic Pants waiting in the wings, going to look to claim the Silas once the Death Realm is over, but Loftition sneaking out to safety. Ronaldo going to pick up Starduster as well, and it's a 3-for-1 in the topside jungle for Invul Lotus.
Yeah, this has backfired big time onto K5, especially since Rotyu just drops really, really low in that exchange, doesn't have the immortal shield bow to his disposal yet, has to work the 8% lifesteal of the vampiric scepter, and that just doesn't do it if you want to stay healthy. Loftition comes around. I was thinking he's pretty late in that exchange, but it comes in just in time to clean up the kill onto Rotu. And it doesn't even matter that Slice falls here because the rest of K5 are just going to be cleaned out as well.
Just dodging out on the knock-up there for Lunar. Slice diving forward, and Rotu chunked dangerously low. Immortal Shield Bow getting popped by the minions on the back half of the play. And that's an important cooldown that's not going to be available for the next 90 seconds.
Yeah, just too aggressive. The play by Rotu. Of course, sustaining himself up with the Immortal Shield Bow, but that is not something you want to do if you're Rotu in this situation, especially with Herald available. Dragon still down for another 1.5 minutes. That is a free objective for the side of Invul Lotus that could have been avoided.
Yeah, Rift Herald going to be claimed. That mid lane turret, though, dangerously low. And with Rotu looking to push this wave in, could be trying to claim that tower. But no, 3 members of Karolinerna are waiting on the top side, waiting for Ronaldo. They think... Will he take the bet?
Ronaldo's absolutely not taking that bait. I'm not certain where they stepped into the vision of Invul Lotus, but apparently they did.
I think Ronaldo's game sense is just telling him, no, this is a bait.
Probably. I mean, Daka is alone in the top side. Usually you don't leave an AD carry alone to farm, except if it's a Zeri and you're playing with upset, in which case it's totally fine. But in this situation, Daka just has too much to lose, and they're not going to leave him alone. So,
Tower dropped in the top lane, though, and it's going to be a third dragon fight unless Stardust gets caught out, which he does by the chains of Loftition. The hook comes through, and he's deleted before Brazil can even be arranged. The plane ticket's not bought in time by Starduster on this one.
Yeah, he's just getting stunlocked forever. That's all there is to it.
And it's a really nicely timed play for Invul Lotus. Dragon spawning in 7 seconds, and that Mordekaiser going to miss this window.
Definitely. And that also missed that. Citron has to miss that window. That the rest of K5 have to miss that window. Of course, Daka has 350 seconds of adoration right now, but he cannot use it in this fight to threaten a kill. He cannot use it in total because he doesn't have the gold at his disposal anytime soon. And Lonar so far hasn't been punished for a weaker lane pick, hasn't been punished for picking the misfortune, and yeah,
on the side of Invul Lotus as well. Oh no, stacking these dragons is going to be really and because, like we mentioned in the draft, there is only the 1 magic damage on this Karolinerna team, and it is that Mordekaiser. And the Mordekaiser definitely not as much of a behemoth was in the first game.
Yeah,
in the previous game, sorry, in the second game of the series.
He's down on a 3 already, which is, of course, down to the much better matchup that Ronaldo gets to play here. This time the Mordekaiser blind pick has been punished severely, which is something they really had to do, and they have done successfully now. And you just gotta give props to Ronaldo to how he's playing that lane. Starduster isn't out of the game just yet. He's gonna be really tanky later on anyway. So Mordekaiser is still gonna have his value, especially with the Death Realm. And we're gonna see how Starduster plays it out, if he's patient enough to get something done with it.
But with that Mountain Drake for the side of Invul Lotus, it is just going to amplify up those instances. It's going to make those Mordekaiser kills slightly more difficult. It's going to make those Draven cash-ins slightly harder to find. And how many stacks this Draven has right now, if you're stopping him from cashing in, you're doing a pretty damn good job.
Rotu dropping the Ignite onto Ronaldo here, which is literally the only way he can threaten a solo kill onto the Olaf. And that also means that it's down now.
It's what we call in the business the anti-Olaf.
Basically, yeah, but that also means it is down. Ronaldo hasn't used the Summoner spell to escape here, which means the next time these two are gonna meet, he's gonna run the Yone down at his free will.
Definitely. But when will they next meet? That is...
Probably within the next few seconds, if Rotu decides to go for the same lane again.
Rotu mid right now. Not going to be directly... like they're sending Starduster face up against them.
That is fine as well. That allows Ronaldo to run another one win. Once again, it keeps Rotu safe for now, which is important.
Good utilization there, though, from K5 of all of the Invul resets coming through at the same time, enabling them to get on that mid lane tower, take that structure away, and a big pressure point on the map now. Lotus is gone, but Citron might be in trouble.
Is he?
But there is 450 stacks on Daka.
Stardust is in trouble.
Stardust are in a lot of danger. Does have a tower, does have Brazil available to him. The Cyclone's popped, but it's going to be Slice that gets taken on a holiday, and the Wukong diving way too far forward. Handle. Lotus and Rotu, meanwhile, in the 1v1.
Stardust keeps his cool in this fight. Slice does not overestimate his limits, and that's just not going to be it. Nice flash here from Luna.
Very, very unfortunate. Luna, beautiful flash to carry him away from the Fate Sealed there, and I think you're like a second or two.
Probably.
A very, very nice flash there from Luna, taking him completely into safety. The teleport comes through on Baron, and K5 going to be starting this one up. Invul Lotus don't know this is going on from what I can tell. Gonna check it now with Marcusa, and is it too little too late? The bullet time gonna come through, but is blocked out beautifully by the Braum. Citron picks that one up, and K5 sells Baron.
Magic Pants just doing his job. Lifts up the door, tells Lonar's bullet time to F off, basically, and Lonar can do absolutely nothing about it. He does the best he can do, which is just ult in, try to steal that Baron somehow, try to get some blow, try to get one or two cleanup kills from it, but that's just not possible. We have Braum holding up his majestic door into your bullet time.
Yeah, mid lane turret. Mid lane turret will be the answer for Invul Lotus, and potentially Stardust here if he steps up far, but he's not going to. Karolinerna now with the Baron buff, with the inside track on the mid lane, and with the flanking position on Invul Lotus. Slice diving forward, finds Magic Pants, throws down the Cyclone, and it's a big engage onto Daka. The depth charge comes through, and the Draven is gone. No cash in today for you, my friend. Citron looking for the resets, looking for the transforms, finds Lunar's body, but cannot complete the turnaround, and it's a 3-for-1 on the team fight. Stardust and Rotu, the only two remaining, but Ronaldo diving forward, goes to Brazil, pops the stopwatch, takes a look at the time, dodging away from the Mordekaiser, the Yone snapping back, Slice diving forward with the Divine Sunderer. Who can they close out? Kills off. It's going to be Rotu picking up Slice as Loftician left to brawl with the Mordekaiser diving forward, trying to heal up as much as he can. The Kingslayer, the Chain Lashes, not quite finding anyone as we see Marcusa locking up the Yone. It is a 4-for-2 on the extended play. Invul Lotus with positioning on the Dragon, and they're going to have to rush this one down pretty damn quick if they want to secure this objective.
Absolutely. Yep.
Really well played fight though by both teams. Both teams executing to an incredibly high level in this game, and it's going to be Invul Lotus to secure the Dragon. Winter's Bite comes through, but it's going to go wide. The Glacial Fissure's stolen away by Loftician and is going to get thrown down. Ronaldo giving his life for the team, nearly able to turn one round onto Starduster, but Invul Lotus secure the Dragon.
Best thing they can do is secure the Dragon and just get out of their lives, and they managed to do that. Invul Lotus is now on 2 mountain breaks, which means they are significantly tankier. 18% bonus armored magic resists are certainly gonna help them, and are gonna help Slice to secure the solo kill, because there's absolutely nothing that Starduster can do about it.
Gonna get dove on, gonna get taken down, gets the turret for a little bit of extra gold, but cut down and shut down in the top lane by the Wu. Draven back up to 150 adoration stacks. I think 75% of them on that death. Really unfortunate for Daka.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for Daka, but just the better for Invul Lotus because they don't have to deal with the possibility of him getting a big cash in within these next few team fights, and that's just the optimal scenario for them. Can deny the Draven. They have denied the Draven a lot of gold, and Daka, that's probably also playing a little bit with his mental, because now he knows he needs to get back onto the same level he had before, otherwise he's just going to be left behind by Lover.
Presence of the Viego there enough to ward Ronaldo away from the tower. Tower won't fight to the minion. You'd imagine Ronaldo will step up and secure that one on the next minion wave. Should only be one auto attack.
Blue team's turret is
And
destroyed.
Karolinerna, really not able to get a lot done with that Baron buff.
Yep.
Very nicely played by Invul Lotus, you have to say. To deny them avenue after that sneak. And yeah, this game now poised on a knife's...
That fits it quite well. You gotta say, you're right now in a position where it could go both ways, although the side of K5, of course, has been slightly compromised.
Starduster. Potentially in trouble here. Ronaldo running him down, but Starduster getting the better of the trade with the big Mortifizer shield.
Yep, Mordekaiser keeping himself alive. Really important. Should do him good in the later stages of the game if he can just spend more time on the map, spend more time getting some resources, getting some XP, some gold, and not falling multiple times over and over to Slice and Ronaldo. So far, Stardust hasn't had the easiest game, but with the exception of the one solo kill by Slice in the bot lane, I think he has done a good job to the game.
Yeah, definitely. And to keep himself in a position to provide ability for the team. Baron spawning in 20 seconds. The fifth dragon of the game in a minute following. And where do we think the next big fight could be?
It has to be sometime between Dragon and Baron. Otherwise, Invul Lotus just have the possibility to take the Baron to force K5 into reacting and possibly taking Dragon as a trade-off. They have to force something, otherwise...
Diving forward onto Magic Pants, a little bit of damage coming through from Slice and the Make It Rain from Lunar, slowing the block down, but no meaningful damage going to land, no meaningful cooldowns burned as Daka crests 250 stacks. Rotiu finds a knock-up, but it's no more than that, takes a shot from Lunar to the back on the dash away, and K5 are the ones with river control with 25 seconds until the dragon spawn. Death Realm picked up for Loftition, stealing away that Mordekaiser ultimate. Slice tagged onto with the knockup now, and a big pull back from Starduster, and it's going to be a fight. Ronaldo running at Daka, just chasing down the Draven, making it his sole goal, but Draven not able to get the cash in, and Invul Lotus not winning the fight. Loftition and Marcusa trying to keep themselves alive, buying space for their misfortune, but it's not going to be enough. It's 4-1 for the side of Karolinerna squad, and they're going to pick up their third dragon.
Well, somehow Invul Lotus have managed to only give Daka one single assist out of that fight. That is basically the only good thing that has happened. On the other hand, they're giving over 2 objectives in a fight that has been split at the worst possible timing, and Invul Lotus find themselves on the back foot, get cleaned up by a much stronger team, and their volatility doesn't bear any fruit so far. We have the possibility for Alana to get in, but not with the bullet time, because it's on cooldown.
Lunar wanting to be careful here. not going to try and let himself get picked up. We do see a teleport in from Loftition into 4 people. Daka rooted up by the Everfrost, and Loftition now caught in no man's land. Going to try and get himself out, and the bullet time from Lunar is very nice across the members of Karolinerna. Can Invul find any exit kills? It's not looking like it. Rotu dashing over the wall behind the Cromp, carrying himself away to safety. And the gold lead explodes again to 5,000.
Invul look a little bit desperate for plays they cannot afford to take. It's really not possible for them to keep up with the pace that K5 set here, unless they find an angle, unless they find an early advantage, which they should be able to do with Ronaldo's upfront damage, which they should be allowed to do with Loftition's burst and Slice's teamfight control, but instead they're gonna get engaged themselves.
Rotu diving forward, can't quite find Lunar, and it's going to be the Yone that is locked up, dashing backwards to safety, and the Whirling Death whistles through. Citron going to find Lunar, and the first reset of the fight is for Karolinerna, but Citron eviscerated by the Wukong. 1-for-1 on the fight, and the Cyclone is still spinning, but there's the Draven cash-in. No, it's stolen away by the Yone. 2-for-1 for Karolinerna. Invul Lotus on the ropes. Going to lose their mid lane inhibitor here.
It is a difficult situation for Suha.
Wait, Seal comes through from Lotus, no chains. Just.
Alright, I was about to say Rotu might be overextending here slightly, but he just gets out. Literally just. But yeah, as long as K5 have the Baron buff, there's no real angle for Lotus. Find anything. The engage from K5 has been scrappy, to say the least, and it hasn't worked out perfectly. Citron folding wasn't really necessary. Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned how scrappy the fights have been on the Karolinerna side. There are avenues for Invul Lotus to come back in this game. Due to the nature of the fights, due to the nature of these team competitions, there are avenues, even staring down the barrel of a 5,000 gold. If you find the right engage with Slice, with Loftition, bullet time coming across from Lunar, can find wins. Invul Lotus right now trying to turtle up as best as they can, trying to gain as much of that gold and trying to stop the assault coming through. But Rotu wants to end this game now, diving forward with the Fate Sealed, dashing himself back away, but an inhibitor turret going to fall in the bot lane. Slice and Ronaldo looking for the fight, but Brazil is transporting. There's a massive bullet time across 4, and Lunar is trying to do everything he can. Invul Lotus trying to do everything they can, but it's not going to be enough. Olaf falls, Loftition falls, Marcusa going to be the third. Daka with a double kill, and this could be game right here.
It's a great engage, but Slice is not giving this up yet.
Oh, Slice trying to continue the fight. One Nexus turret going to fall, Slice following it very, very quickly. The second Nexus turret being focused down, and Lunar cannot offer anything. Karolinerna Black going to secure the game, going to secure the series, and advance themselves off to the promotion tournament.
That has taken a very unexpected turn, I'd say. It looked, for the most time, like Lotus have the game under control. They know what they have to do to get this to the goal. Until they just didn't, until they ran into a wall and just kept trying to knock the wall down. Just didn't have a chance to do so.
More mistakes in crucial can anything to happen. GG, well played. Karolinerna Black. Luck in the guys thoroughly get there. Completing the miracle run through the lower bracket. What a performance, I have to say. I have to credit all 5 of the members of Karolinerna for a very, very solid weekend of games. Shout outs to the Invul Lotus boys as well. They put up a valiant effort. But unfortunately, it was not.
Yeah, they kept it together. They really performed well in a pressure situation where they are down 0-1 in a best of 3. And they completed a run that is really difficult to perform. They have knocked out Invul Lotus, despite Invul Lotus looking like the stronger team over parts of the series, and fully deserve to do so. They have kept it cool, and they got the rewards for it.
Yeah, definitely. Massive, massive A5. And I'm sure they are all of their performance end and are now probably relishing the chance to go up against some of the Division 2 in that promotion. A very exciting watch. And of course, we wish them the best of luck. Give us some good representation for the Swedish scene and for Division 3 as a whole. Let's go show those teams what we try and take spots. But on our side of things, unfortunately, won't see any more of this summer game of Split, and it's a bit of an unfortunate note for things.
Definitely so, but there are a lot of things to improve on. There are a lot of things that are already working quite well, and all you need to do is put the pieces together in the next split. You know you're capable of it. You only have the challenge to keep the team together now and to keep the spirits high. And in the winter split, it should be a lot clearer towards how this team is going to perform, how this team is going to approach the whole situation and what it's capable of.
Definitely, and you know the old adage: to lose is to. Obviously, this one gonna hurt. Don't have to be, but there were a lot of positive signs. There is a lot of learning to take, and like you say, Neon, hopefully see. However, guys, I do think that's going to be everything from us. Thank you all so much for tuning in for all 10 games that we've been able to bring you this weekend. From myself and Neon, I think this evening. I don't want to speak too much on your behalf, Neon, but I think it's safe to say we've had some fun with these games.
Definitely so. Although the results haven't been exactly the way we wanted them to be.
No,
It
but
has been a
that's
great
sport.
series.
That's the nature of sport. It happens. You cannot have the results go in your favor every time. Obviously, better team on the day did win. Hence why we are going to wish Karolinerna Black best of. But that's been everything from us, guys. Thank you very much for watching. On behalf of myself, Eris, unfortunately couldn't be here for the rest of the playoffs after Saturday. Thank you from Neon and from us as Invul as a whole. Thank you everyone for supporting and following our journey through this summer split. It's been one hell of a ride, and we are so happy to have been on it with you all. We will be back again in winter. We will be back again stronger. I can prove that. Division 3, be wary. Have both teams see do. But otherwise, that is going to round out a very exciting evening of Legends. For the final time, GG played Karolinerna. Be watching you in. And until Winter Split, guys, that's going to be everything from us. I've been Enix. Thank you again, Neon, for joining me. If there's any data outro to promote yourself, go for it. Follow the man on Twitter. You can see his @ it's just underneath. But for me, guys, if you don't already follow us at Invul Esports on Twitter, chuck us a follow here on Twitch if you haven't already, and I believe all of our other socials are linked. Want to keep up to date with everything Invul Esports, please drop us some follows on there. Once again, though, thank you all for following our story through the summer split. We will be back. Don't. See you all later. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, guys.